I'm Warren Davis, and you're watching the Evercade Effect.
Evercade Effect.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Evercade Effect. This is Ed, oh yeah, and I'm excited to go ahead and record another video. So, for those of you that don't know, basically what this video is entail, we're going to go over the Astebros, Demons of Asteborg, and this is a follow-up to my first look initial impressions video. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and click on the card somewhere above or down in the description below, where basically I go ahead and I play the game for the first time without diving in the manual or anything else of that nonsense. And in this video, it's 2 weeks later, I've gone in, I've really played the game in depth, I've really given it a chance, and we'll see how I feel about or enjoy it. But yeah, I definitely recommend watching that first video if you missed the second one, because this one we're going to dive into the analysis, talk all about the good and bad things of the game. The first one going to go more into the footage. Anyways, with that out of the way, we're going to switch over to the VS here. Alright. I do like to show my save states and the hours that I played and all that. I think it adds some context and whatnot of how much I played here. Alright, I got my trusty VS controller. Let's go into the Asteborg. And so you can see, first I just want to say, I have beaten this game, right? That's kind of creepy, exactly 9 hours into it. 18 different occasions, so yeah, a lot of play sessions, and I've had 171 save states. I'm sorry, loading the save state 171 times, actually saving the save states 209 times. So I went ahead and I played this back, during the holiday break through Christmas and whatnot, and just really enjoyed this game. And I wanted to dive into the first one first. We'll go to the second one here in a second. Just wanted to say that they are both completely different games, even though they have excellent art styles and all that's very similar sound effects, and by the same company. They play completely different, which is important. So, I do want to go into here, and actually kind of is a visual aid for some of these things. If I load my last, actually I can't load my last save because I don't want to spoil the boss, but I think I can load one of them. Then you can make it easier for me to talk about. I'll talk about a few things. Okay, yeah, like 5 hours into it. All right. So first off, and let me go ahead and move myself. I mainly had to, move myself over there. Oh, there's 2 of me. So that way you can see the save states, the number, the counts, and whatnot. All right. So first off, you play 3 characters. You play the Ranger, which ended up being my main. You can play this musician dude, and you can also play this knight. And I do. Okay, so the Ranger has a wooden bow. At some point, you get better weapons. They have a crafting system and all that. And I should say too, but you unlock all the, as you play along, you unlock all these different characters here, right? Unlock all these people that give you different abilities and whatnot. One thing I didn't know is this guy, you can get like protection from fire, protection from electricity, really until the end boss of the game. I didn't use that. But what I like about the Ranger is, so your Ranger's your range attack initially starts with the gun with a limited number of bullets, and you have to reload. Although if you get like the bow that I have here, I don't know if I have the legendary. If I have like the legendary bow in a later save state, let's go like 5 hours into. Yeah, let me see here. I think I do. Oh, I'm sorry. It is. You can see the effects and the speed. It's going to say wooden bow, but it is. So. There's also a legendary bow. It's a better bow. So what's great about the bow is, look at this. You can just keep firing. You can fire diagonally. And even in the air, you can shoot like that, and you can shoot down. So one thing I will say about this weapon, if you get this weapon in the Ranger, it's completely OP. You want to keep it. There are numerous bosses where I really was able to get around shooting the diagonals and just everything. Like it really helped. It really helped me out a lot. And if we go back to the other characters, I will say, so like the Knight and the Mage, I really didn't play them a whole lot because the Mage has more powerful spells, but the Mage is a little bit slower, right? But you can charge it more. And then the Knight, you don't have any restrictions on range at all because the Mage is weaker. That's how they balance it. The Ranger is stronger than the Mage, weaker than the Knight, but when you have the gun, you have to, you only have, like, depending on the gun, when you start with has 3 bullets, it could have more, but then you have to hit the button to reload, and it doesn't shoot across the screen. The Knight is the strongest, but then with the Ranger, when you get the bow, it's totally OP, even if it isn't as powerful, because you can just keep shooting. And that's ultimately what I use to beat the game. Now, what is really unique about this game too that I almost lost sight of, let me go back to the map here, is it does have roguelike elements. Meaning the levels that you go to are random. They randomly generate where you need to go in the levels. You start off at this one, and then you unlock this level. At some point, you can choose to go here, or you can choose to go to the circus. And I don't want to spoil too much on Floating Castle, the last level. Let's say if we go to the first level, and you'll see these orbs, right, that you have to go in and get. And once you beat it twice, you actually beat the level. I should also mention too that you unlock more blueprints. So when you beat levels, you can, and in chests you can unlock more blueprints. When you unlock blueprints, then you can craft other weapons, which is pretty neat. So yeah, this is normally the default gun. So if I pick a common blunderbuss, right? Like this is what I mean. Boom, boom, and then you have to like reload. Yeah, boom, 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 and then reload. That's a legendary. I don't know why I just said wooden bow. Blunderbuss, and you can see the attack and the speed. Now, if I grab this weapon back, yeah, it just says wooden bow. That's really weird to me, but I knew somewhere it's a legendary. See, it's half the speed, but you can just keep shooting. And I think with the Ranger shoe, you can summon a pet, which is kind of neat. But look at this. You can just keep shooting. Keep shooting. See, look at that. Look at all this advantage. And those components that I picked up right there, like that bar, these bones you can use in crafting. So if you see there in the middle of the screen, there's the map. And you can kind of tell where to go. And throughout the whole thing, you can also like duck down, which is weird. Throughout the whole thing, you can get things that increase your life. And I think I did that many getting the life maxed out. You also can get like other kind of like in a roguelike game, other abilities, like things that you can find more hearts and other kind of. Let's see if I have that equipped, and I can better show you. Yes, like double reward, you get the double keys and double bombs, and then effects plus, like this frost ability that's a 12% chance of going off. Has a higher chance to go off on enemies. But anyways, what I really like about this game. And going back to that, and why I grasped into the Ranger character. Typically in games, I'll pick the character for range. I like your glass cannon archetype, as long as they're not too weak, which the mage was a little bit. Like, if you've played like Gauntlet, and all that, I love to be the guy with the bow. Typically in games, it's just, I kind of find that in a lot of games you have more survivability. Yeah, you'd maybe die a lot quicker if you get hit. But the trade-off is you have that ranged ability, which for me, it really suits my game style. Kind of like playing Contra, I guess, is kind of the best way. Or I will take and pick maybe sometimes like your warrior type. Although I found in this game, especially with the bosses, like your ranged abilities really, really help. And now that I brought up bosses, let me touch on that. What is so neat about this game is that all the bosses, they really didn't attribute to the old school games where like your Mega Mans and what were you had to use a special weapon, but in this you had to hit a boss in a certain spot, figure out their pattern. That's it through the whole game. I mean, pretty much the first boss is really easy to suck you in, but man, it is just like so super neat to have to figure that out. Sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating. I think on a couple bosses I may have had to like do a Google search and find some YouTube videos, and even just to get an idea. And even then, it's still challenging. But yeah, the first game was just incredible. A lot of replay. You rerun the same levels. If you die though, you do lose all your money. But at the end of the level, these like little dudes come and beat on you, and you have to like press your attack button really quick to get out of it. It's super neat. But this is how it plays different from the second one, because you can't. The second one you can't choose your character. You only have one character. Excuse me a second. And this kind of gives you more of a variety. The first one that I think once you latch on and find that character, it's great. So for me, I just had so much fun figuring out the levels, having the random maps, choosing what character I wanted to be, choosing what unlocks of weapons and things and all that. And then, of course, you have like your chests, that spawn through the place to give you money and whatnot. And then you have that mimic chest that'll come out and just like attack you, but you won't know which one it is. So you have to be wary sometimes of approaching chests. Yeah, this is a very well done game. Total S tier. I love it. Now let's talk about the other game that's on here, which is supposed to be the sequel, Demons of Asteborg. And I've got to move myself So you can see, so this one almost as long, 7 hours and 41 minutes, 15 play counts, so almost, as many sessions, 398 load counts, and 403 save counts. So definitely this game, so much replay value. I mean, so much play value that I got out of it. I know I was thinking replay value. Both of these games, I think definitely I would go back to playing them later on. The one thing that I will say that's nice, I mean, having the save states is great as compared to something like Cathedral, which is, very much a great game, very much a Castle, a Metroidvania type game. More so than both of these games. And I will say that I really did like the save states did help me out and save time. Otherwise, if you had the actual cart, you would save, you'd go back to that camp. But sometimes it just really helps to be able to save before a boss and just be able to replay that boss over and over again until you can finally master and beat the boss. That really helped me out. And I did find though that the bosses in Demons of Asteborg were a little bit more challenging. Actually, they had that same element that you have to find a certain special way. But man, they were a lot more rough. I want to say this one I definitely had to look up some of the bosses a lot more than the first game. And so the main character, yeah, you've got your sword. You do get unique magic. So what's really cool about this game, it's every level you kind of talk to this this ghost or the spirit who's lost their memory, and you have to go in and help them remember, and you find a little bit piece of the puzzle, find out what's happening to the world. I'm not going to spoil the story, but this one definitely has a better and more in-depth storyline. So that's one really good thing it has for you. Other than the challenge of the bosses, each level, I was saying, you get like a new magic that's unique to that level. It goes away, doesn't carry over, but you have a magic meter. You have to learn how to use it, and usually you need to use it to defeat the bosses and get through the levels. It's just totally crazy, but I love it. And then at the end of the level, it kind of gives you that arcadey feel to where you enter in a shop and you can get things like the first item I got was to see the enemy's health, and you want to get something to give you more life, which actually I didn't get that until like later in the game. I got one where you can do like more of a combo. You can do an extra attack, and then you can buy extra life and extra lives and health and all that good stuff, which you find plenty of that throughout the game. Again, as I mentioned, save states are really helpful. But this one, it nailed the 16-bit aesthetic. I mean, like both of these, they really, really just nailed the 16-bit aesthetic. It is aesthetic, if I can talk. And just, I love that feeling. I love owning the physical carts in these. Of course, you can always buy them on Steam, Switch, depending on whatever store. But there's just something really super neat about owning, that physical game. And I had a blast. Playing both of these, I cannot recommend them enough. This and the Dukes, and so I do want to talk about one other thing, but I'm going to put that on pause that relates to this, and just say that with both of these games, Blaze nailed it. I love it. I highly recommend this cart. You can see nearly 20 hours of gameplay, and I think I've talked about, for me, like 4 to 10 hours in a game is just perfect. I feel like I get my money's worth, with my work, family life, and everything. I just don't have time to devote to like a 50-hour game. Good for those of you who do, but I feel like these are the perfect length. You'll definitely get your $20 worth, and I think you'll go back and play it later on, no doubt in my mind. So the thing I wanted to put on pause that I wanted to say is that in 2023 we've had a few carts like this. We've had this dual cart, we've had the Dukes, we've had the Good Boy Galaxy, which I will do my follow-up to Good Boy Galaxy at some point. Man, my face always itches when I do these videos. I don't know why, but I really feel like Blaze has just been Blaze has really just been killing it by putting out these games with these dual carts and these indie games cheaper than you can get them on Steam or other stores. And they run and perform beautifully in Evercade. We need more games like this. These are my favorite type of games. I so enjoy the experience of just sitting down, thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to go ahead and play for when I have time here for a couple hours or not. And then if I either get frustrated at a boss or I just I need a break, I can just jump back into it later on. With the Evercade ecosystem, I can play it on one of the handhelds behind me, or I can go ahead and I can pop that cart back in the VS to be more comfortable, in front of the TV. I really like that flexibility, and that's also really important for me as well. I do enjoy the score chaser and whatnot. these goal-oriented games, I love it, because I really feel like in this day and age that I've accomplished something. It really gives me a good feeling, and I also like to play games like this that offer a challenge but not super frustration, like, oh my god, this is just too frustrating. So for me, any game like these that just hold my interest to where I want to play through them and I want to beat them again and again and again and again, and I want to play it until I complete it, and I just want to, and my interest is whoosh, I'm like laser just psyched into it. Like, I love that. And so that's how I know it's a great cartridge and it's a great game if I'm just like totally sucked into it and I want to complete it from beginning to the end. Kind of like with the Duke carts, I felt the same way. This experience was just as enjoyable. It's like, if you told me, put a gun to my head and said, which one would you rate is the better one, I would have a tough time. But what I can tell you is that this is a great experience, and I highly recommend it. If you haven't played through these games, let's say you own it, and maybe you're at a point you're a little bit frustrated, that's okay. I promise you, if you stick with it, and just, do a YouTube search, find a playthrough video to kind of help you through that point, and then carry back on where you left off, you're going to love it, and you're really going to enjoy that you went through and decided to complete the game. That is the Evercade effect, I'd guarantee. No, but seriously though, like this game, it's definitely worth the reward. Or these games, I should say. It kind of feels like one game because but they're not. What I mean by one game is the experience does, but they're completely two separate games. It's just when I think back to it, I enjoy both of these equally. I'm glad they're both on a cart, and you owe it to yourself if you already have the game to complete it, or if you don't have the Evercade, you need, I highly recommend getting this game. If you're not going to get into the Evercade ecosystem, then at least get it in whatever ecosystem that you have that you play games on. I don't think you'll be disappointed. So, with all of that said, I am going to end it here. I am now going to roll and thank my channel members, who join my channel, and I should let you all know that I do put out a little bit extra content, per month. I put out a couple of videos, or I just either, there could be like derps and flubs, or I started a new series called Let's Cringe, where I watch my older episodes and give commentary, and I've had a lot of fun, and my channel members have really enjoyed that. At the time of recording this video, if I get to, if I get to 10 channel members, not including the trial members, 10 actual members, I will go ahead and I will start doing live streaming once a month. And yeah, so that's the thing you're interested in. Link and information is below. If not, that is perfectly fine. I appreciate watching this video. If you haven't liked this video, it really helps me out, helps the algorithm. And please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.